Why are women more late than guys to most things?
Because they think they just don't give a fuck. Let's be honest. Like they're rude, they're inconsiderate, and you know what I mean. And they think like even like as it pertains to like outside of us. Like when I look at the grand scheme of the women in our relationship, like they really don't do shit. Like like most women in my sphere, they benefit from me. I don't benefit from them.
So wait a minute, Quentin. Are you saying that women in general are kind of worthless to men outside a box?
I concur.
Carrie, do you agree with that?
No, I
No,
don't agree with
no.
that.
I'm not going to Carrie first.
Um,
Mika, do you agree with that?
Absolutely not.
Why or why not?
I agree. No, let me rephrase that. I agree that the women Quentin have in his sphere are absolutely worthless. However, women as a whole, no. Mm-mm.
Shit.
Carrie, why do you disagree?
because you all want us to be too much a part of your lives for that to be true, and you're not getting boxed at all of those during all of those moments. So men will easily say that women are it's best to have women on your team work wise, like to have them either working for you or working on a project with you. Women bring value by bringing you business. Women will have your back. They might see things you don't see. You just said the other night, yesterday, that men will want to go have fun with women, so we bring you pleasure and enjoyment.
That is
Um,
absolutely true. That is 1,000%
so
true. That is
I
one doc. Now listen. Maybe men are retarded. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we really are Neanderthals. Neanderthal behavior. Maybe we really are Neanderthals in real life.
You know what I think it is, AJ?
Calcified penile devils.
Maybe we really are Neanderthals.
I think most men just don't know how to utilize women.
Shit.
Mm.
Shit.
And so when they don't know how to, the women end up playing them and using them.
You don't
These
think that
But if
women.
you
most
just
men
got
like to
women
utilize
hanging
women?
around you, they're not gonna be
So
useful.
are you saying that Quentin needs to better understand how to utilize women?
Yes. Because what is the purpose of them hanging even if it's just for box, right? You have the woman that, let's just say you were trying to get box from this woman you was, around today. She's late, like extra late, right? So that tells you that she already don't respect your time, right?
Mm.
And then if you allow it, she's going to keep doing it. So it's not as like those type of women you can't have around you. But
The
women
an-
as a whole are not useless.
the antidote says y'all don't listen. How can we utilize y'all?
No, the women, antidote, I don't know you, so I can't judge you. But the women that you may run into don't listen because a woman
Mm.
that respects you will listen. And if she doesn't respect you, then you got to get rid of her. But if
Yeah,
you
I was
allow her
about
to
to
stay,
say,
that's on you.
if she don't listen to you, you gotta cut her off. You gotta
Yeah,
get her up
that's
out of
that's
there.
that's a you thing.
You gotta
Just
get
like
her.
when we talk
You
to
gotta
women
get her up
about
out of
certain
there.
things.
That's literally you enabling her to not listen to you, to not do what you're asking. So you putting yourself in a position to be disrespected. It might not necessarily be disrespect every time, but when you make a request or a suggestion, if it's not taken into consideration in any type of way and followed through with, that's you allowed it because you continued to keep her around.
What if she don't
You
want to
if
leave?
we was
no, they ain't know if she don't want to leave. Block. Um, and then
What if
if
she
you
doesn't
That don't work.
disrespect
if
me?
you
What if
come
she just
around,
don't?
if you
That
know
don't
if you
work.
come around, it will be paperwork.
That no, that don't work, Slimmy.
Oh, it
what
will.
It
what
doesn't
does it
work.
really
I'm
mean?
telling you, it doesn't work.
what does it really look like for a woman not to listen? Like, and I'm not acting oblivious to this being a complaint, but when men say that, what do they really mean? Like, she doesn't listen.
Oh, so I can give you an
y'all could
example.
just keep doing other shit.
No,
Like,
no,
give
no.
me,
Well,
I
I'll give
like
you a
for
specific example. So
okay.
if I literally say, hey, look, when you first trying to interact with me, don't come with no negative statements. Like, don't just say you want to vent and then you start running into some shit, or I wanna vent. Call me. Like, don't ever come with that type of you won't get no response. You won't get an interaction.
You don't let a chick vent to you, Slimmy?
No, you could do that. You could do that, but I don't. You can't just like bring it like that, man. It's like, oh, I need to vent. Let me call you now. What kind of shit is that? You could just call me, see how the day is going, and then like if I'm in that type of mode to receive that type of shit, I could have a terrible day. Like my shit could be fucked up. I don't want no more negative energy piled on me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So you
Okay,
asking
so
her
let
to
me.
ask you if you need permission so I have space.
yeah,
Ask, do you have
it's
space
just
and time for me to
it's not
talk
it's
to
just
you about
about
what I need to talk to you about?
consideration. It's just about consideration.
Hmm.
That's all it is.
But
But
do
that's
you
just
would you call her and say, "Hey, I want to check on you. What's going on with you? Tell me what's going on."
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's just part of getting to know somebody. That's just part of being considerate. Just
But no,
like,
no, no.
yo, your day
I'm not
going.
talking about you specifically. When I ask these questions, I'm asking them to you, but I'm asking you from the perspective of, do you think that most guys do?
Oh, do I think most guys are doing that?
Yeah. So I'm not talking. I know who you
Oh,
are.
no,
I'm saying that, do
I
you
don't
think
think
that
dudes is
most
doing
guys
that.
are
No,
doing?
I don't think dudes is doing that. That's why they getting the results that they get. You know what I'm saying? And they getting women that feel like, oh, you only use me as a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? I'm just something to fuck on. Because if you were actually digging into her psyche and she was fucked up,
No, I hit that by mistake. I was trying to go down to the bottom.
and she was fucked up, no, you wouldn't have her around.
Mm.
That's why I'm wondering, like, I'm not saying that there's no somebody in the chat said Carrie's gonna say I a bunch of times, so sorry. But that's why I'm wondering how much is it that women are really not listening as opposed to men are either not making it clear what they want and what they don't want, or like directing, or I don't know what the word would be. You know what I'm saying? Like it,
Yeah,
because
I see what you're
I think
saying.
it's kind of our, I think it's more of our natural tendency to listen and to follow, even with our mouths. If a man really gives us direction, I think it's natural for us to want to follow that. So
Yeah,
What?
I agree with you, Carrie. I think my problem is I don't like giving directions over and over. So like
You
once you
got
done
to though,
did
Slimmy.
What's the
You got to.
once you done did something once and I say it
No, no,
again,
no, 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 Slimmy. You got
I'm
to give
done.
directions over and over because you got to train them. No, seriously, because you got to remember, a lot of women operate out of fear, right? So the only time that I've ever had a woman question me, and this is I'm talking about in like even at work, corporate, working for me, whatever. What I've learned about women as I've gotten older is that sometimes they question you because they want to be sure, because they so used to, a lot of times it's a trauma response. They're used to getting
Mm,
burned, or they're used to, dealing with something that don't follow through or whatever, right? And I'm not even talking about just from a relationship perspective. I'm just talking about in general. Like people, guys too. Guys are used to getting burned, right? Or they used to dealing with somebody that just used them or never followed through or any of this type of stuff. So what I've learned is sometimes women will move out of fear, and guys also sometimes, but in general, we talk about women. Women will move out of fear because they don't know, right? They don't, or it may seem too good to be true to them. And so their natural inclination is to protect themselves because it's a
That's what I was
human
about to
thing,
ask. It was
right? It's a human
if it
thing to
was like a
protect yourself.
trusting.
So you're teaching them both, because I always say, it's an action word, right? So you're delivering, so the level of consistency that you have will put her shoulders down, but then the reinforcing of it through like verbally also conditions her and it teaches her how to move around you. So you basically are training them to be a certain way around you based off of your actions and then the reinforcement of it with how it is that you. So if she questions you, it's a difference between being like her just disrespecting you versus her just questioning you. They're going to
Yeah,
question.
for sure.
They're always going to question you. They
For
always going to want to
sure.
know where they stand. They always want to know, hey, did you really mean what you said, or was you just saying that shit in order to get in my pants? Like they want to know that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that I don't have a problem with reinforcing it and saying it over and over again because that's how people get more comfortable.
So it's basically an indoctrination. See, I don't be doing that.
You got to.
Well, and I think that reinforcing it also helps us to really believe that you have thought it through as well, because unfortunately some guys movements don't make sense. So
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? And so you're not questioning, like Anton said, you're not questioning it to be dismissive, disrespectful, but it's like, hold on. Wait a minute. 1 + 1 is kind of equaling 3 right now. So maybe if he reinforces, then at least I see he's processing this, he's thinking it through. This makes sense for him. All right, I guess I can go. And that's unfortunate, but I think some women are like, what he's saying really doesn't sound like he really thought about it.
But even with that, Carrie, I agree to a point. But even with that, right? If you look at how men treat other men, like when you take something like the military, like those disciplined men have positive reinforcement of the same thing all the time, all the time, all the time, until it becomes muscle memory, where you know how to act, you know how you're supposed to present yourself, you know this, and then they go teach the other recruits that come in, and so on and so on and so forth, and that goes from the lowest on the totem pole all the way up to the high brass. So I think it's the same, and it starts from the top. So if the man is going to be the person at the top, everything he's talking about, he needs to show in his actions, right? And the same way, like if you are a mother, right, your children are going to learn by your actions, right? Because you are their leader, right? And so if he's your leader, that's how he's going to do. So that's just how I look at it.
No,
Do
I
Le-
100% agree with that.
Lex, do you think that Quentin should have took it as disrespect for the woman that was late to whatever event that they went to?
Um, it depends. Sometimes you have to give people grace, but at the same time, it just depends on why she was late, how she approached you when she finally showed up, and how she took it the date here forth. Like if she came in disrespectful and not giving an explanation, I would take it as disrespect. She not apologizing and reassuring you that, of what was going on or why she was late, I would take it as disrespect.
Hmm. I know Slimmy would have took it as disrespectful, so that goes without saying. Slimmy would have took it as disrespectful, and then he would have canceled that bitch. That's how Slimmy would have framed
No, I had to get the yams. Then
it.
cancel her.
Oh man, I don't know. I think that you have to always. I don't think that you ever stop teaching women. I don't think that you ever stop coaching them and teaching them and training them. I think that you're forever training them, forever. So,
Especially if you change, right? Like if something becomes different, You can't expect somebody to know, by osmosis, because you know, you may like fold like this now. Maybe now you're a little smaller or a little bigger or whatever. Hey, I don't want my clothes like this, or I don't think reinforcement is a bad thing. I think when everybody is just trying to figure out something, one person may be on one page and one person may be on the other page.
Yeah. Do y'all think that women ultimately still like to be? I think that women like to be treated like babies. No matter how great grown they get, no matter how old they are, I think that all women want to be treated like babies. Do y'all think that women want to be treated like babies, or do y'all think that they want to be treated like equals?
Do we want to be treated like babies, or what was the last part?
Or do y'all want them to be treated like, do you think that women want to be treated like equals?
Um, I wouldn't say equals because I don't want to do anything that men do.
Well, when I say equals, I'm not saying from the perspective of like gender roles, but like, do they want to be looked at as equal, like as far as in a relationship?
I think majority of women want to be treated like babies because they like to be pampered. They like to have that as you get passed on from your father to the man, they want to feel dominated, told what to do, things of that nature. But some women, women that come from like, background of trauma and things like that, they just want to feel safe. They just want to know he got it. Cool. They're not looking for the courtship or the it just depends on the woman. Some women do react differently, and some people would say that woman is a hard shell, but not really. Not the aggressive women, but just those women that came from an unsafe environment. So they're not looking to be talked softly to as far as, oh baby, come here, let me rub your feet. You need anything? They just want to know, like, if I lay my head at your house, you're not gonna yell at me, beat on me, or whatever, blase, blase. But other than that, they cool for the
Let me
most
let me
part.
let me ask a follow up question because one of the things that I hear from guys is that women either don't want to do anything, and then I hear from women that say that guys don't want to be providers anymore, right? And of course, that goes into the whole 50-50 conversation and stuff like that. Which that's not the question that I'm going to ask, but I just want to ask this other question. Do you think that guys actually don't want that level of responsibility? Because actually, I shouldn't even ask that question because I got a video that I'm gonna play later on. That's a part of it. But do you think that guys are a lot more that they're fearful of women that say that they're career driven or productive, or do you think that guys are kind of hypocritical because at the same time they'll say that they don't really want a woman that focuses on themselves, they want a woman that focuses on them? Like, what is the healthy balance? Is the question that I'm asking. What do y'all think is the balance with a woman that gets into a relationship and has to deal with a man, but then the demands of a man necessarily don't necessarily like it doesn't necessarily feed into what it is that she wants to do. How would a woman balance that type of situation or being in a relationship? Do y'all have to completely give up yourselves? Do y'all have to completely throw away your dreams and focus 100% on him? What does that look like?
You have to choose. You have to
Y'all think y'all have
choose.
to choose? You can't have both.
No.
Mika, do you think that most women would have to choose? They can't have both.
I think most women can't do both at the same time, right? So I think there's a time for when you need to focus on your children, and then there's a time you can focus on yourself, because we talk about it all the time. Um, like with stay-at-home wives, the children are not going to be in the house forever. So you can also find something to do once they're out of the nurturing stage of preschool. You can find something to do. You can go and do what it is that makes you move, whatever your passions are, things like that. That's what just speaking on my experience, that's what my grandmother and my mom used to do. right? They find something that interests them, things like that. They used to have social clubs, all these types of things that make you tick, whatever it is, right? And so I think you can have that balance. It's when women try to do the boss chick thing, like a single woman would do if
Mhm.
she's out there like that, and try to, have the family life. When you're trying to pursue something like a business and something far out there like corporate and things like that, it takes a lot of energy and focus. Something is going to suffer. So either that business is going to suffer or those children and your family is going to suffer. And a lot of men already know this, but women don't seem to get that. And so they struggle a lot of the times with, well, why can't I have both? Because that's not the nature of who we are. So I think you can have both, but I don't think you can have them at the same time. I think you just need to decide what's more important to you at the time.
Ty
I
Church
think
said,
some
say
women,
my wife Mika. Just wanted to point that out. Ty Church is really upset.
Ty.
Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Ty Church.
I think I think some women think that like having a husband is a easy identity to look up to, but then those type of women find out that it's not fulfilling to them. So that's why I say you have to pick a side and you have to actually love the choice that you picked.
I think that most women would prefer to be, well, Carrie, let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's um possible to have both, or that most women would have to choose between, pursuing something that's meaningful to them versus 100% buying into what a guy wants them to do in order to be in a relationship? For most women, you muted, Carrie. We already know that Carrie is about to freeze up. Oh man, I got some good questions for y'all. We're gonna go on a broad, diverse spectrum of questions. Hey y'all, Carrie is back. All right, Carrie, give it to me.
Sorry. I agree with what Mika said. If especially if kids are involved, if it's just you and your man, I think you can. But
Mm,
once kids are involved, I definitely think that one's gonna have to take a back seat.
mm,
Um, that's just, and I think to Mika's point, I think when you try to do both, obviously one's going to get more than the other, and I think that you get a different type of a conflict.
mm,
So you either start resenting what's at home or you start resenting what you're going to on the day to day.
mm.
So